perfect.
Now, Kentucky's not a team to foul.
Probably going to try to deny him the comeback pass. They get it in to Murphy. Murphy drives across into front court. Hands it back to Hubbard. Rolls right, long three. Got it! With 8 seconds. Comes into Wagner at 7. At 6. Wagner pulls up over to Shepard. Shepard penetrates. Floater. Yes!
Way to go, Reed Shepard. Why not? Why not, Reed Shepard?
Reed Shepard rescues the Cats with a floater in the lane.
Oh, man.
They're going to check the monitor, but it was good.
It was good. It was.
You heard it there, folks. What a call from Tom Leach and Goose Givens of the UK Sports Network. Man, what a game, what a win, what a performance. Definitely will be known as the Reed Shepard game, as the Cats win by a score of 91-89 on the road at Mississippi State. And where to start? Don't really know. I think I had 1 or 2 heart attacks during the game, especially during the second half late. Adversity. I'll start off with adversity. I know I heard the post game KSR show, wanted to listen after a win. I disagree with the point that Matt made about the officials. You talk about adversity. I thought that this game, I've watched a lot of college basketball this season, a lot. I thought this was one of the worst officiated games I've seen. Up there with Houston and Baylor last Saturday. Just all around terrible, if you want me to be honest with you. Just my thoughts. I thought Mississippi State got away with a lot. I thought they called several touch fouls on us, especially in that first half. It felt like, especially the one that jumps out to me was the play where Justin Edwards got tackled, basically, on the fast break. I could think of several bad calls. And, I'd never mention officiating on this podcast. That's one thing. You can't blame your losses on officiating, in my opinion. But when it is that bad, I think it deserves to be brought up. So, wanted to touch on that. Not only the adversity of the officiating, but the adversity of getting down by a lot. The Cats were down, I think, 13 at one point in the second half. Mississippi State comes out and gets an 1-3 first play of the second half, and this team didn't care. They said, okay, well, make it tougher on us to come back, but we're going to do it. And it took them a little bit, but I think the number one thing that changed the game obviously was Reed Shepard's performance. But I look at between the 5-minute and the 4-minute TV timeout, I thought Cal did a great thing. He went out and Reeves needed a break, and he had played the whole second half, basically, and Rob had struggled. No doubt about it, this game, and he puts him back in. Without Rob Dillingham, we don't win the game. And you can say that about Reed too, I would agree. But that little stretch there where we were down 2 when Rob checked in, might have even been down 4. He comes down, gets an assist, and then hits a 3 with a guy in his face to put us up 1. And, from then on, he did good things. He definitely wanted the ball there at the end, no question. Who doesn't want to take the last shot? But, man, me and Rob had the exact same reaction when that shot fell from Reed Shepard. Reed hits a buzzer beater to win the game, and I think I jumped higher than I've ever jumped in my life. But it was a great game to have. We needed that. You look at the last 3 games, you put yourself in a great position SEC standings wise. So that was definitely a game that we needed to try to avoid playing on Thursday. I I know that's a big conversation. Generally, it doesn't really matter if we play on Thursday. I just think it's harder to win a SEC tournament championship if you've got to play 4 games instead of 3. It's just my opinion. But we'll see. Still could end up on Thursday, but it's less likely now because of getting that big win. Of course, Auburn plays Tennessee tonight. If Auburn loses that game, we should move into the double bye spot, and then you control your own destiny. So we'll see. But like I said, you never know with this team. Great. I mean, in the last couple games, we've now won at Auburn, smoked Bama at home, and now go win at Mississippi State. All 3 quad 1 wins that this team needed. The resume's stronger and stronger now, 6-6 in quad 1s. And, got to take care of business at home. Got to win these next 2 at least. And if y'all listen, I predicted us to win out from the Mississippi State game on. So I expect us to win the next 3, get Tennessee back. And if you go do that, folks, there's a chance. If Tennessee drops another game, you could win the SEC, depending on what Alabama does. So we'll see. Alabama hosts Tennessee this Saturday. That's like the biggest game in college basketball this weekend. So we'll see what happens. Time will tell. I've said that. You never know. There's still a chance we could win the league. It's slim, but that possibility is still there because of getting these big wins. Look at the box score now. Reed Sheppard, of course, 32 points. Did a great job. I want to shout out Big Z also for playing super well. When he first checked into the game, I was concerned that, the physicality of Mississippi State would hurt him. But he held his own. He played really good, especially on the defensive end. Only scored 2 points, but was plus 22 in the box score. Didn't know he could make a difference like that on the defensive side. He blocked several shots, altered even more, rebounded, did good things. Only scored 2 points, but we didn't need him to score. We needed him to do the other things, and he stepped up as our big man last night. So, shout out to Big Z and Reed and Rob. I feel like those guys played the best. And DJ Wagner got some shots to fall finally. I think he hit 3 threes. So that was awesome to see. I really, like I said, this team, man, they're so fun to watch. I loved the reaction when Reed hit the last shot there of the bench. And I love watching the bench celebrations during the game when they pan over to them after we hit a big shot. They're always hilarious. So, Trey, by the way, get back, please. We need you. If we're going to make this big run, we need Trey back. I hope to see him against Arkansas or Vandy. And then again for Tennessee, we need him to make this run. So, hopefully Trey can get back sooner rather than later. Not only did Reed have 32 points, but also had 7 assists and 5 rebounds, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Real quick, before I dive more into the box score, the free throw shooting down the stretch was huge. We didn't miss a single free throw there in crunch time. Just shout out to the team for that. Also shot 33s. Most we've shot in a long time. If you know me, I said 25 is the magic number. I'll take 30. Only shot 60 total shots, so 50% of them were threes. Went 15 of 17 from the line. Like I said, didn't miss any down the stretch. And I want to correct something I did say. I said DJ hit 3 threes. He only hit 2, but they were both very crucial. One at the end of the first half cut the lead to 8 going into halftime, and I thought that was a very big point in the game. He ended with 10 points, 4 assists, and for someone, you ain't going to believe this, but even after a huge win like that, I still got messages, negative messages, I should say, about DJ not wanting to pass the ball on the last possession. I couldn't believe it when I saw that. If you all listened to Cal's post game which obviously you didn't if you sent me those messages. He said the play call was DJ go to the rim. So if your coach looks at you and says, DJ, go to the rim on the last shot, are you going to pass it first option? No. If you are, then you're not a ball player, I guess I should say. Just complete arrogance or ignorance. If you think that kid's selfish and wants the last shot to himself. Once he realized there was no driving lane, he kicked it to Reed. I don't know what else you want the kid to do. Some people can't win. And obviously DJ's one of those guys that people have a false narrative about. And I quite frankly can't stand it because I love the kid. I love this team in general, but there's literally nothing else he could have done. When Cal tells him to go to the rim and he tries to at first and then gets cut off and kicks it back, he did the right thing. So some people will just hate to hate if they don't like a kid. No matter what he does, they'll find a way to twist it. So shout out to DJ for a great game. 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. It was awesome to see him get some shots to go from the 3-point line. Adu Thiero, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. A lot of lob dunks this game for him. Seems like that's becoming more and more what his game is. In and around the rim, he also knocked down a 3, which he hit 2 last game as well. So good to see Adu getting his 3-pointer going. Justin Edwards had a down game coming off of that 28-point performance. Only had 2 points, 4 boards. Rob only had 9 points, but man, his points were critical there down the stretch. Aaron Bradshaw only played 7 minutes, but had a huge dunk late. I think he had a block late also. He only played 7 minutes and had 2 blocks. That's huge. Big Z had 3 blocks in 21 minutes. And like I said, his plus-minus was plus 22. So, great job. And I want to shout out Josh Hubbard, too, for Mississippi State. If you all listened to my scouting report before, I said he would be a problem. He didn't line us up the first time, but, man, he could not miss last night. He hit 7 threes on 11 of 24 shooting, 34 points. And, a lot of opposing players after the game will take shots at Kentucky. Or, Katie Johnson comes to mind. Which he has no room to talk, but he comes to mind as one that just runs his mouth a lot. Josh Hubbard sent out a post on his Twitter. Might have been on his Instagram, one of the social media accounts that he has, and said respect to 15. He posted a picture of him and Reed guarding each other. And that's very classy. And that kid's good. So is Tolu Smith. Both those guys. This Mississippi State team's legit. I feel like they will definitely win at least 1 game in the SEC tournament, maybe 2. I'd like to stay away from them, to be honest. They're going to be out for revenge. If we play them again, we beat them twice this year. Once in a row. We handled them. This game, we did not. They handled us for the most part, but we ended up winning. So, they would be out for revenge if we play them, but I will root for them when they're not playing us. Because I really like them. I like the way they play. They're tough. They're physical. And when you got a guy that can fill it up like Josh Hubbard, I mean, he's our he's their Rob Dillingham. He's a microwave guy. He got hot against Tennessee when they beat Tennessee there. So, I'm a fan of that team and the way they play. But I'm glad we got the dub. We needed the dub for sure. Now we put ourselves in a great position, and that leads me into breaking down our overall record. 20-8 now, 10-5 in the SEC, and now I promised a bracketology preview from here on out, so I'm going to give it to you. On ESPN, as of last night, we were a 5 seed versus Richmond. I went ahead and swapped us with San Diego State because Joe Lunardi said if we won last night, we'd be a 4. That puts us as a 4 against UC Irvine. And San Diego State would be our 5. I like that draw, to be honest, in the games. We're in Spokane, which I do not like. But, for location-wise, when these guys project, the location is very rarely correct. I don't think one projection had us playing in Greensboro last year, and that's where we ended up. So you never know, but I would say that I would like that draw if it came down to it. CBS 5 seed versus Sanford, Duke our 4. That'd be huge. Get a Kentucky Duke matchup in the Sweet 16. Or actually, it wouldn't even be the Sweet 16. It'd be the round of 32. But I just don't want to be a 5. I know that sounds weird to people. People are like, oh, 4 and 5 are the same. I don't want to be a 5. A 12 beats a 5. It seems like at least once every year. I mean, I feel like it's more than any other upset in the tournament. I could be wrong about that, but that's just my guess. Against Sanford, they played just like we do, so I do like that matchup. They get up and down the floor. They want to run. If they ran against us, I would really like our chances, to be honest with you. And then I like the matchup against Duke. I think Duke is one of the biggest frauds in college basketball this year. So I think they had us in Pittsburgh. So that's traveling distance for UK fans. That sets up good. It'd be a hard ticket just because Duke's there too, but a second round game against Duke would be something wild. So we'll see if that happens. And now I'm going through sites that I touched on the big ones, ESPN and CBS, but these are my preference ones that I like looking at. Bracket Wag, they're usually pretty accurate. Has us as a 5 seed against McNeese State. McNeese State is coached by former LSU coach Will Wade, who has already beat Calipari. They come in only having 3 losses so far this year. That is a matchup that, I don't know if I like it or not. There'd be a 12 seed McNeese State. Don't really. I like to stay away from them. Creighton as our 4. I also don't want to play Creighton. They've got size inside with Kalkbrenner. Baylor Sharman's a shooter. But of course, I say all this with a grain of salt, man. You got to win one game at a time. And these are just projections. So, Bracketville, we're up to a 4 against UC Irvine, just like ESPN. But instead of San Diego State as our 5, they have us with Wisconsin as our 5. Give me that. Give me UC Irvine in the first round and Wisconsin as our 5. We get revenge from 2015. I like our chances. Andy Katz, a 5 seed against Princeton. Once again, Princeton's good. Ivy League school, coming in as a 5 seed 12. They almost beat us as a 13. Brandon Knight's year, we won on a last-second shot. Get me away from Princeton. It's that sneaky 12 seed Creighton, our 4. Like I said, I've already gave you Creighton. Blogging the bracket, 5 seed versus McNeese, but San Diego State, our 4. These are very similar projections. So, and when some of them update, if we take care of business on Saturday, I would expect us to be a 4. If we win out, I would expect us to be a 3. So those are the projections. I feel like that they're all very respectable. I'd like us to be a 4 instead of 5. I know, like, people are telling me when I say that in group chats that they're the same. I don't believe that. So we'll see. Still a lot of basketball to play. 3 games remain in the regular season. Then you got the SEC tournament as well. So it'll be fun. It's the best time of the year, in my opinion. I love March Madness, especially when the Cats are cooking like they are right now, with big win after big win. You take out that LSU loss, and we are probably on the verge of a top 10 ranking right now, to be honest with you. If you really think about it, we'd be definitely the hottest team in America, and potentially top 10. So, but you can't say what if about the past. We're focusing on the future. We're focusing on what's to come. And I'm very, very excited for what's to come with this team. I think, if you keep playing the way you are now. And I also want to touch on something else real quick. This stat blew my mind, to be honest with you. But I can honestly by the way we've played the last couple games, it does make sense. Let me find it here. And this is great radio being completely silent. I'm trying to find my likes because I liked it. Okay. Kentucky is now 16th in adjusted offensive efficiency. I might be able to talk. And 25th in defensive per Bart Torvik rankings in their last 5. So that's huge. That's a dramatic turn from what our defense has been. The offense has always been very solid this year, but the defense to be top 25 in the last 5 games, and those are games against very good opponents. That's huge. And I really like that, the defense had to be better last night. And it really did. It was really solid. And of course, you saw the offensive explosion there in the second half. So just want to throw those numbers out there. I know a lot of you all had been looking forward to the bracketology updates. I've been asked about that quite a lot, but I wanted to wait until, March to start that, because you look at the projections from the beginning of February to now, the end of February, they're 2 totally different things. And I'm sure they'll change a lot from now to then, but I feel like it's a more accurate guessing game now, late into March. Personally, I'm not a bracketologist, but I think right now the Cats are sitting on the 4 line. And, I look, wins against Vandy and Arkansas aren't going to help you that much, but if you take care of business and other people lose, you can only move up, So, Vandy went and beat Arkansas last night, by the way. They squared off in Arkansas, and Vandy went and beat them. So, Arkansas will probably come in here red hot since they lost to Vandy. That only makes sense. We're going to shut them down and get the win. I will say, though, if you take care of business against Arkansas and Vandy and then you go beat Tennessee too, I think you're looking at a 3 seed. And then if you go win the SEC tournament, dare I say a 2? Depending on what other people do, we'll see. But like I said, from this point on, it's one game at a time. Last night was a huge comeback win. I think, that was I would say Auburn probably, I don't know. It's hard to rank these last 3 big wins because Bama was just a full-on blowout, unexpectedly. And then you go beat Auburn, whose fans talk the more trash than anybody in the sport, it feels like. But then Mississippi State, that place was rocking. That place was rocking. They were up by 13. It just felt, the come-behind victories are something different, man. You get a different feeling, at least I do as a fan, coming from behind. And, we were down 13 in the second half, especially with the way the second half started, with them getting the and 1-3, and then Josh Hubbard absolutely burning us alive in the second half, just going nuclear from beyond the arc. I think it made it that much sweeter, honestly, for them to have a guy go for 34 and us to still win. And I know Reed went for 32. I want to take a minute also and not just dismiss or overlook Reed Sheppard, the pride of London, Kentucky, about 30 minutes away from my hometown in Somerset. The dude just has it. I hate to tell you all, but last night was just another example of why I do not expect him to be here more than 1 year. At this rate, he's a lottery pick, maybe even higher. He does everything. His basketball IQ is through the roof. I know that's stereotypical of short white guys in college basketball in the NBA, but it's just, he brings that stereotype to life. He's just so smart with the ball. And every time he makes a mistake, such as the bad pass there in the second half, that was one of the worst plays I've seen. But then he bounces back with the game winner and the steal to end the game. So this team will make you scratch your head sometimes, and the other times they'll make you jump up and down with joy. That last minute, let's talk about it real quick. And you're not going to take away my joy from I'm sounding like Coach Cal, but you're not going to take away my joy from a big win like that. But I will say, Coach Cal better hug Reed Sheppard's neck last night, man, after that game, because the backlash that he would have got, even if it wasn't his fault, which I mean, but being up 8 with less than a minute left in a game that you had to have, and then if you found a way to lose that, it would have been terrible. But we didn't. We won. So let's focus on the positives. I will say the end of game execution has got to get better. When we're up by 8 with a minute left, I want to feel comfortable. Maybe that's what the issue was. Maybe the team felt too comfortable. But let's not get burned again on the down up 3 with like 15 seconds left. I don't want to get burned on that again. This is the second time that it's happened. Feel like we should have fouled. Cal argues that there was too much time left again. At some point, I feel like you've got to take that chance, because the way Hubbard was so nuclear from 3, you knew it was going to go in if he got a shot off. And Reeves played very good defense on the back half of the court, just shadowing him. But Hubbard found a way to get off Reeves off of him. And once he had a sliver of space, he pulled up and buried it. And, then Reed Sheppard happened. That's one way to stop court storming. I thought it was pretty funny that Mississippi State brought in extra security thinking they were going to win, and ends up choking the game away. And, I thought that was just funny. So, shout out to the Cats for pulling one out that we desperately needed. So, now Saturday comes, 1:30 against Arkansas. I think the game plan's the same as you went down there. It was an ugly game from start to finish. I think that was Arkansas's way of staying in the game. And, we made plays down the stretch that won us that game as well. So, I expect nothing different, to be honest with you. Arkansas, they're struggling even worse than they were before we played them the first time. Like I said, they're coming off a loss to Vanderbilt. So I think we'll be in good shape. But Trayvon Mark is their guy. They also have L. Ellis from Louisville. I feel like that we should be in good shape to win this one. They also should have back 2 players that missed the game against us, so we'll have to shut them down as well. Trayvon Brazile and I think it's Devontae Davis that led us up last year. They will be back, so you still should take care of business at home against a bad Arkansas team. So I like us to win, and I like us to win fairly big. I like us by 16. I like us by a score of 94-78. I think should be a pretty comfortable game. I'll say this and it'll be totally different, but I'm hoping this is a game where we can sit back and realize that we have it in the bag the whole game. I need one of them after these last couple. Bama was an exception, but other than that, it feels like our games have been stressful and close. So I like the Cats big. I like us to take care of business. And seems like Antonio Reeves against Arkansas is just on another level, so I got to pick him as my MVP. I know that's obvious. I can't pick him every game, but he's Mr. Consistent, and against Arkansas, he lights them up every time. So, wouldn't be any different this time. That's a very different score from the first game. The first game was super ugly. But if we can defend like we have, I like us to give up around 70, 75. So, I like the Cats, and I think they move into that double bye position by the end of the night tonight, because I think Tennessee's going to beat Auburn. And then, you control your own destiny. I hope you all enjoyed the bracket preview. We'll keep doing that as they update them. And hopefully we're here for a pretty big post-game show, probably Saturday after the win. It's a 1:30 game, so if the Cats get a win on Saturday, look for a post-game show. The game was at 1:30 on CBS. I love the CBS games. It seems like they're so much better than the ESPN one. So, hope you all enjoyed this episode. It's a celebratory episode. I've had a little bit of problems with my iPad and some, that's why there's so much movement and stuff. I hope it didn't ruin the quality of the podcast. But thank you all so much for listening to JD's Wildcat World. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Also available on YouTube. So thank you all so much for listening. The Cats get a big win in Starkville as they beat Mississippi State 91-89, and let's go build on this momentum and beat Arkansas at home. This has been JD's Wildcat World. Thank you all for listening.